lived physically designed and built satellites that go into space, worked on a space station that you guys now hear about that is going around the Earth, and they run all kinds of experiments in it. I send man to it, and they come back and they go up there. I designed the power segment of that device, and at some point, I asked myself, as what really is my value added to me, and how that influences the ones that it's not me. What's my value added for you? What's my value added for Fremont or United States? And for that reason, I started writing, because I came to conclusion that you folks don't really have time to read a 200, 300, 400-page book. So I asked myself, how can I write a 400-page book in one page? And I started writing poetry, and if you read my poetry, I challenge you to read a book and compare it to any of the content, any poem. And if you learn from that book more than you learn from my poem, I would love to hear from you. So today we have a foundation for disabled children. We work, I started that in 2006, and as a matter of fact, we just finished building a school in Kenya for 120 disabled children, and we are working on building another one in Tanzania. And that, by the way, is the disabled student made that in Kenya and send it to us in African. It means thank you. So, asante. So that's us. And I am hopeful that you all will take your time to tell us who are you. Cool?
I can start, or
all right.
I'll just start. My name's Daniel. I grew up in the Bay Area, so I just grew up in Rose City, Palo Alto, East Palo Alto, in that area. I actually, kind of what Nate said, I actually brought two things, because you said it was what?
Bring a book or something.
Bring a book.
Oh, yeah.
You bring something.
Bring something that.
So I'll just bring things. So I brought two things. So I like to collect card games or whatever cards, like with different faces on it, because one of my favorite games to play with my family is Nerds. I don't know if you guys have heard of that game, but ever since I started playing that game, if I go visit, so like I went to Paris in the summer, so if I go visit some place, they normally have like souvenirs and they have playing cards. So I actually buy one of them and I kind of keep it in my collection.
Oh.
And another thing so I like doing that kind of stuff. And I also brought, this is very simple, but I brought, and I kind of this was a break. But anyways, it ended. So during the holidays, I bought myself an e-bike, like a Jetson e-bike from like Costco. I got it used. It's fun. I like riding it a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a hack to make it go faster, and just by using an Arduino, just putting. So I like using stuff like that. It was like by my Arduino, I kind of messed it up. But anyways, I just used that to make it. So it originally went 15 miles an hour. So now it's supposed to go 25, but it goes less than that. But yeah, so that's kind of like creativity, things that I brought today. I feel like it was a show and tells. I like brought
No,
today.
very cool. I think kind of the idea was just a place to like
so it's like two things that I
be a little more philosophical than we usually get to be in a normal state.
Yeah, so I really like playing card games. We just play card games or doing stuff like that or learning. So when you're talking about you're making stuff for, I'm assuming for both. I kind of like you have bowling and other stuff right there. So I think that's pretty cool as well. So a little bit about me, yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I brought a book. It says, "You can heal your life.
So my name is Laura.
was talking about earlier.
Yeah, my name is Laura, and I also grew up, born and raised in the Bay Area. My parents are first generation. They're from Mexico, and I'm the oldest, and they had me when they were teenagers, very young. So I think that because they were always very much like motivated to, do better or whatever. As a little girl, I remember really being into the owl from Winnie the Pooh, and so I would always go into the back, like the garage, and I would just start copying the dictionary because I would always be like, I want to be wise like this owl. So that's what I remember. And so I'm not creative. I mean, like I can paint and things like that, but it's like on my time off or whatever, I love books. I would rather prefer reading things like that. And then I really think that it's interesting that I think it's awesome that you're building schools in other countries, because I love traveling, and the only reason I've traveled is for like service organizations. Like I haven't traveled to be a tourist. Well, I went to Cancun for my sister's 21st birthday. But aside from that, like everywhere I've traveled to is to do volunteer services. So maybe I'm over here like I wonder if you do that too, right?
Cool.
That'd be
I'll get
awesome.
you there.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I know. That'd be awesome.
I'll second that. I'll third that.
Yeah. We'll take a service trip.
That would be great. Get a group from the ward to go visit one of your schools.
Yeah, so a little bit about myself.
Well, we are building another one, so if anybody wants to volunteer.
To volunteer, help build.
Well, no, we.
Do you have the locals
It's a
do that?
complicated process
Yeah.
because one thing you never want to do is go tell them how
What
you're
they
going to do
need.
anything for them.
Yeah.
They should ask you what is it that they want, and then you do that for them.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Miss Amy.
I don't know that I'm a terribly creative person, but except I'm incredibly resourceful. That's where my creativity lies. I'm incredibly resourceful. I can have nothing and build a mansion.
So when you say resourceful, you mean like MacGyver?
Yeah. Yeah, like I can just kind of look around and be like, here's what I need. You know, I don't need the traditional tools. You know what I mean? So I think I'm pretty resourceful.
Perfect. That's a perfect.
I think part of that is nature, and part of that is I think part of that I was born that way, and part of it is I've lived my life traveling, and I'm very much a minimalist, and so if I can use what pieces I have around me and not have to collect stuff, so I love to travel. I've probably been to over 40 countries at this point. And I think I've said this before, but so when I travel, I'm not a stuff person. I don't like stuff. So I collect all the best people and all the best memories. Marcy is somebody that I met over 20 years ago. So she's one of my souvenirs of all the best people that I've collected from all over the world. And you know, you end up meeting a lot of people, and sometimes some people stick, you know, and so, and you know, Marcy's also a world traveler. She's, I think, much more creative than I am, but that's what I collect is beautiful memories and beautiful people.
Beautiful.
Hey, beautiful.
It's hard to follow that.
That was just a bunch of BS saying I have no talents.
I didn't bring anything. I don't know if I can bring it. And then I brought you.
Where's my show and tell? I did. I text Marcy and I said, "This is your group. Like you would really have."
I didn't know I was supposed to bring anything to show and tell. I could
No, you weren't necessarily. It was. We talked about having like a writer's night or a philosophy night or something like that, and I think it's kind of turned into. And then Nathan invited the whole ward, and this is what showed up.
Yeah.
And we love it.
So yeah, my name's Alex, and I actually grew up here in Fremont.
Oh, Bata's cheating. No, you have to talk.
Yeah, I know.
Notice he's leaving. When
That's what I said.
we all open up
Don't
to
run from your feelings, Bata.
So been really fun, and outside of that, I've just been like playing tennis, hiking, yeah, just like doing a lot of activities. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's really brave to do career changes. I think a lot of people are like, I'm not happy, but it's too hard.
You know,
I think it was really brave.
yeah, it's definitely been like a lot to
Yeah.
adapt to. So, there's a lot of it.
At least you know who you are, because the people that confuse me are the people that have to go find themselves. I'm like, you're right here. Like, you
I'll go ahead, since I guess I put my spot here. So I'm Ryan. I was born in Salt Lake, and I developed a medical condition when I was about 3 months old with epilepsy, and ended up having to. I've had it all my life, pretty much, and so I went in and out of different conditions. It was called syndrome at the time, and I developed an epilepsy from there. And so I had a bit of a tougher childhood where I had a lot of quirks about me that my parents had to overcome and helped me to overcome it. And so I always felt like I was kind of like overly supervised as a child, and so that's a part of the reason why I was bringing up the topics I was earlier. But more importantly is over time into my teens, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to drive supervision, and at the time I ended up deciding, okay, I'm going to just rely on whatever comes my way, and I didn't know if it would lead me to marriage either, because I didn't know what the future would hold for me. And so,
Same.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
but it was like if you're in that position and you're in that medical condition, and I was under a medicine at the time that my symptoms were like almost like up and down and down and up. I was like, I noticed I was different, almost maybe like what people with autism maybe feel sometimes. But for me, what ultimately happened was I got better, and then I had a 70 give me a blessing. And from there, about 2 years later, my seizures were fully controlled and have been relatively controlled by and large ever since. And so one of the things about me is that for me, I see things from deeper perspectives. I see things, being able to see things in and out, left and right, just like all the different angles, and just being able to understand things for what they are. And so that was, but as far as my career, and just kind of what I enjoy, like if my object were to be something, it would be a phone, because I'm a web developer, and the area of web development that I focus on is what the end user sees, what somebody sees on their screen, like what are the colors, what is the look and feel, what's the positioning of things on the page. And it can be for different devices, like for phones and computers. I spend most of my time with computers, so that's a lot of what I emphasize with my UIs. But and then I'm really good at looking at visual things. So like, how are things placed? Are they placed right? Is the user going to be able to interact with this page in an efficient way? And so that's so that's another thing. And then one last one is I enjoy photography. So that's another thing I can do with my phone.
So you make the virtual world a more beautiful place.
Yes, more realistic and more natural, easier to understand and just flow through.
From Marcy, friend of Amy's, the collection. I also grew up in the Bay Area, but East Bay, so out in Brentwood, end of Highway 4 out there. Family's been there for 3 generations, which is always unusual in this day and age. Creativity. I am not a visually creative person, but I appreciate, I can cook. I really enjoy the visual arts though. Something I do collect on my travels is I like to pick out some sort of artwork, be it a bowl or a painting or whatever it might be. I like something that is a useful and tangible reminder of places that I've been. And I also collect friendships. That's probably my favorite part about traveling is the people you can connect with. And my mom always says you have friends for a reason, friends for a season, and friends for life. And when you travel, you get all of those in one. It's great. But currently I'm on my 3rd career, so hey, nothing wrong with that. It's you're not happy, you want to make a change, and find something you can do that makes your life happier. And that's.
So what do you do now?
So I'm currently a virtual assistant. All of my clients at the moment are coaches in various fields, and so I help with their back-end business so they can focus on what they want to do. So I have a couple of ADHD executive coaches, a parenting coach, and a grief counselor that I work with.
Well,
And she can do that from anywhere in the world.
Yes, that was the goal for this 3rd career change. I worked for an engineering company on the business end for 7 years, and I took a 1 year what I thought was sabbatical to teach English in Thailand just to take a break before I moved companies, and ended up staying in Korea for the next 6 years, and then came back here because I didn't spend enough time with my family, and so I moved to a virtual option so I could do what I wanted to do, but also be able to be part of my family. So,
If anyone needs admin assistant work.
yeah, back end, update websites, email marketing. If you're a small business, that's what I focus on, is helping the
well, anybody who wants to do
solopreneurs.
pro bono, take it.
Seriously, I need help with my campaign website, so if anybody wants to help.
Yeah, he's running for mayor.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
That's the type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And make Fremont a better place.
That's worth it.
Make Fremont great again?
I don't know if you want to go with that tagline. It might be a little
I'm Mahia. Okay. Hi. I really enjoy art and painting. I'm a bit of an artist in that, and I really enjoy engineering teeth. I work in dentistry, and so I engineer teeth and make. So aside from police, because that's what I show up in, I do dentistry and I do counseling too, so therapy and chaplaincy. So that's what, yeah. So it's very
so
exciting.
You do like I'm sorry, but I'm just curious, being a police officer, that's like is that full time and then you do dentistry?
I do everything now because I'm doing chaplaincy more. I've just kind of slowed down on everything else. Yeah. But everything's basically full time for me.
So you're basically talented in every possible
Yes.
You break their teeth and then you fix them.
Opportunity to travel and serve and do those kind of things. So to me, it's just expanding the opportunities to serve the world and like I do physical therapy or patients. Like, I mean, I've done many things.
Good.
Oh yeah, I just I work as an engineer. I think that's about me.
What do you write?
I was doing creative writing program, and so I just write some poetry. But for the program, I sometimes have to write prose and novel and stories.
Like what genre? Like what do you like?
I don't really have a genre.
You do it all.
I don't have like a book that I'm writing already versus other people in the same program. They're like, oh, I'm writing this book, like this and that. They already have ideas. And I'm like, no, I just want to enroll to get better at writing.
Well, then you'll be prepared when the idea comes.
Yes. Yeah, or the assignments will force me to have. Yeah.
Like you write your poetry, what does it tend to be about?
Whatever I'm feeling. So if I have boy problems, then the poem is about
You're
boys.
gonna write the next great breakup song.
There you go.
Yeah.
Send it to Taylor Swift. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing I said. I said the same thing. Send it to Taylor Swift, and then you'll make a lot.
Yeah, I'm doing quality, so I did just hardware testing and then software. I think hardware was more fun, but software testing allows me to work from home and stuff, like some days, yeah. The hardware testing I did included some thermal tests and I helped set up a voltage test, voltage margining, but it was like some test and validation engineers will design the test and then I'll just help execute it or have our people rework some of the electronics. Voltage margining, for example, is you put a microcontroller and then have the electricity pass through it, but still connect it to the device. And so then they can control the voltage a little bit higher and a little bit lower. And then you switch between high voltage and low voltage to see, and run it 1,000 cycles and then see if the device can take that margin to make sure it's safe when power outage happens and stuff.
So you can help him make his bike go faster?
Well,
You get tested to see how.
Should we practice on
She
Nathan's
can probably
wheelchair?
Don't want to break it.
well,
Once he gets in there.
he already modified his bike, so be careful, dude, there's a cop here, so we were.
There's a what?
There's a cop here.
Oh, it's a copy.
As long as it's less than 50 cc's, you don't need a license, right?
I don't even know. I just
You need a permit still. And how far below 50 are you just doing 49? That matters.
Well, they make the scooters that are 47, right?
Yeah, they do.
Alright, I guess it's
Very
me.
cool.
I'm Max. I currently am a claims insurance agent, and I really hate that job. And I have been stuck there for 6 years. So, and this year it seems like I'm halfway out because I'm interviewing for another job, and hopefully I do get it. It would be for a business operation for the building at Google, and then and when they say that money, if you love what you do, it wouldn't affect how you feel about getting paid. But then I'm okay with what I'm doing now, but my dissatisfaction of my payment did seep into my personal feelings about the job. So now, but that aside, my hobbies are going to the gym and cooking. I like to cook food from around the world, and I like to do it in alphabetical order because I'm fixated with the alphabet for some reason. And I used to grow a lot of plants too. I do succulents, and I started from the letter A with that as well. And then first I started collecting agave or aloe and then agave, and anacampseros and just a bunch of this. I just have grown a lot, and then my front yard was botanical garden level because there's like over 400 different species in the front yard alone. And yeah, when it comes to cooking, I like to learn new recipes and I really like to study about like different countries while I'm doing it, which is how I identified the tahdig earlier.
Wait, so when you're like saying alphabetical, it's like if you make something with the letter, it starts with a letter A, your next thing would be letter B.
No, it'd be like it'd like start. I forgot how it started because I was doing countries and then I got bored of that. I'm like in Brazil right now with feijoada, which is like a black bean stew, and then so I started doing from states. So I did Alabama, which was like chicken with a white barbecue sauce, and then after that was it's been a while. It's like Alaska.
But if you did something with Alabama, then you'll try to do as many
and then
you can do,
and
then you go to the
B
next one.
and C.
Okay.
How many states that start with B?
Brazil, you were saying?
State.
Oh, state. Boise. Are you doing it by city or?
No, just by state.
Oh, but just by state. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
B state.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then there was California, Colorado, Connecticut. And before I couldn't memorize the 50 states, then now it's like, okay, if I pair it with a food, now I could do it now. And I did, and when I learned about the countries, I'm like, that's there, that's what they like to eat.
That's cool.
But then, since I started my diet, now it's like I don't really do that anymore. But
Different ways to cook your steak.
Yeah, but
the opposite.
yeah.
So, I'm Nathan. I have reinvented myself so many times in terms of different hobbies or different things that I want to try because I don't let my disability define me. As many of you will know. So I now running for mayor is just the latest venture that I've undertaken, and I hope I win. But I've done everything from try to come up with a rap album. I've written 150 pages of a book that I was going to publish, but I'm at the point in the book where I need to find some way that the characters can continue, because that's the one thing about writing is when you write something you get stuck, and it's like you don't want to just put anything because it's your first book, so you don't want to make it weird or so people don't read it. So it's really challenging to give 100% every time. So it's like I'm just stuck at that point. Hopefully it comes to me and I'll figure it out. But during the pandemic, I couldn't do music, so that's why I switched to rap writing. And I've always been, I guess, fascinated with politics, so that's why I'm dipping my toe in the water, as they say, to try to run for mayor. Because the original plan that my dad really took me out of was president, and once I found out how much money it takes to run for president, I kind of like, okay, maybe mayor would be more attainable. So yeah.
It's important to have realistic goals.
you'd have more
Yeah, and then,
opportunity to
then you
make
can,
changes as a mayor than as a president anyway.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
and then you can
ability
use
to-
the mayor clout to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level up to president.
Build up, you know? Level up. It's all good.
So here is his first song that he recorded.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Is
is
it
it
rap
a rap song? We want to hear it.
You sound different.
Waiting for the day that Jesus Christ will come back and make it all alright. Praying for the day when there's no pain. Praying for the day he makes it all okay. As he suffered every time I turn on the news, it makes me so confused. This is all news. Beaten and bruised. Why someone always gotta lose? Don't know why. It makes me look bad. Feel those tears falling out my eyes. The world's playing out for when Jesus comes back. And he's coming back. Please let us be good to each other.
That's good.
Yo, Nate, did you make the beats too, or just like you just
So I am not that talented. I downloaded the beats from a website, but every lyric is me. Like it's like
Is that Spotify?
it's on SoundCloud.
Oh, that's how. Okay.
iPad?
What's your rapper's name?
What's your rapper name?
LDS Soldier 510.
LBS Soldiers.
No LDS.
LDS.
Oh, LBS
Soldier
Soldiers.
510.
Oh, 510. Nice. LBS Soldier. I'm gonna look it up.
Awesome.
Victory over Satan will be assured. Headed towards paradise with the Lord. Can't wait to be restored. We'll have a long talk. Man, I can't wait to walk.
Who's singing the chorus?
That's my friend Tammy Harwood. She was a member of my ward, and she got married and moved to Utah.
You said Cammy, right?
Yeah, Tammy Harwood.
I remember her. She married Caleb.
Yeah,
Hart
late.
or like yeah.
Awesome.
He has written 40 songs.
All for the church.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's awesome.
Nobody buys them.
Sometimes making something is just as important as other
Hey, I'm
things,
gonna
right?
listen to that. I love.
She likes
That was like
Christian rap.
I like Christian rap. I like.
Actually, he was about to release his first album, and then COVID hit, and
And actually, my dad doesn't know this, but I was going to talk to him about getting small business loans so I could make a studio, turn the place into a studio, and then COVID hit and
we even bought 500 shirts with his.
Oh, for promoting it?
Yeah.
Okay.
so I was gonna be like the disabled. I was gonna be like
LBS
the.
Soldier 510. Hey. Oh.
I was gonna be like the disabled community.
That's cool.
That's what you call it.
Well, I am honored. Really, it was really beautiful of all of you to open your heart and tell us who you are and what you do, and hopefully, whatever your dream is, you will reach it. I am really thrilled. Maybe 5, 6 of you together have my age. All of you together have equal to my age. But one thing that I am not a Mormon. But one thing I have learned from you guys is that you are very open. You are very sincere about your faith. You really practice what you preach to some good extent. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful who you guys are. And as I said to you, I write. And in my writings, I have defined friends as what a friend is. And I wish I would remember it, but if you want, I'll read it for you. Basically, it says it's like you are a mirror. Your friends are your mirrors. And who was it that said, my mother called and
Right.
I want to finish this before I do, but I tell you, your mother and father, they become so happy when you just give them a call. I'm a father. My daughter calls, it's like, all right, the day's ready. So you call your mothers and fathers and let them know.
And I do it. The only reason
I called them
and the only
yesterday.
reason I do that,
I didn't tell them I loved them, but I called them.
and the only reason I do less calling is because I live with them.
Right. Calling as in, hi.
It says, mirrors are silent and never lie. They don't ask you where, when, or how. I'm trying to forget. But at the end it says, my friends are the mirrors of my life. Imagine if you feel so close to somebody where you can cry, where you can laugh, where you can tell your secrets and don't feel fear, don't feel vulnerable. That's who your friend is. And you only get that friendship if you trust yourself. Because you gotta dare to expose yourself. You gotta dare to trust people. And that's who you guys are. And I enjoy very much to come to your church and listen, to your, what's the term, I forgot.
Talks, testimonies.
Testimonies. Because you guys come in there and you let it go. You cry, you laugh, you share your mother, your father, your stories of your hearts and soul. And that's so beautiful. So thank you for who you are.
I've never met a more genuine group than I've been in the church almost 8 years, and I've never met a more genuine group than the group that I'm with right now in the Stanford Second Ward. You guys are, I feel the spirit every time I walk in the chapel, and I hope you can sense it off me too. Like one thing you know about, one thing that I'm going to educate you guys about Persians is we wear our hearts on our sleeves. We don't, when I call you guys my friend, I actually mean it. Like, you guys are stuck with me, whether you want me or not. So, because that's just who we are. That's how my dad raised me and my sister. So, I think I've bonded with you guys and everybody in that ward and I couldn't ask for a better one. So thank you for allowing me to come in to your ward and into your lives, because you basically have touched my life so much. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
you're all ugly.
Speak for yourself.
I think we ended up with a really, really great group tonight, and thanks guys.
That ain't me, everyone.
That's how I express my love.
Cat having a good time?
I think that's like the first time I've heard him gallop.
Yeah.
My parents' cat sounds like an
Scared
elephant.
of
She's this
something.
dainty little thing, but when she runs, it's like bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful that none of you are allergic to him, because that would be really bad.
He's so pretty.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Raiden.
The cat.
The shelter, the guys at the shelter named him after Raiden from Mortal Kombat. I wouldn't have
Okay.
I wouldn't have named him Raiden.
The name sounded familiar, but I'm like, I can't place it.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
The guy liked video games, and he was like, I named him Raiden. I'm like,
Okay.
why would you name Raiden? But it strangely worked for him, and I didn't want to change his name because I didn't want him to get confused.
He's pretty
Fair,
feisty,
fair.
so it works.
He does do that Mortal Kombat like change direction.
What's your book called?
He really
So
darts
here
quick,
it
doesn't
is.
he?
What?
It says, mirrors are silent and never lie. They don't remember or ask why, where, when, or how. Mirrors do cry and laugh on your and my behalf. Mirrors don't seek pleasure or fame. They look at everyone the same. They are honest. They don't betray. They are patient, willing to listen to your stories of pleasure and pain. So you can share your secrets. You can laugh, speak of your fears. You can let go of your tears. For you, my friends, are the mirrors of my life.
Beautiful.
And he has.
So we should do this again.
Yeah. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So who volunteers?
I don't think you want to try out to my
You have a poetry Facebook page, you said?
Or we can do it.
You have a poetry Facebook page?
Okay.
Yes.
It
Yeah?
just has to be,
Where is it?
you
What,
guys- you
what
have
is
a
it called?
I thought your dad said you had a ramp.
Yeah, we do. It's a portable, but it only covers like 2 steps.
I only
It's
have one
called
step.
Okay.
Poetry and Thoughts by Zia.
Okay.
Poetry.
And I see it
Poetry and
now.
Thoughts by Zia.
Zia spelled
ZIA.
Z-I-A.
Okay.
And I have 5 books that I have published, and I have donated all of them to my
He's
foundation.
That's awesome.
You run it.
Awesome.
He wants to play.
Yeah.
I think he's looking for you. He's like trying to find you.
Looking around.
He's gonna attack you.
I know.
He's like,
He
who
is
is this
looking
person?
for you. He's playing hide and seek.
Are these also your poetry on the wall?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I used to have a secretary, and she liked my
Oh.
poetry.
Yeah.
And she would
And
spend
she
the
was
company
so
money
needy.
to buy frames, put my poems. And when my customers would come, she would usually give them as a gift.
Hey.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's personalized, and that's great.
Good talk.
Well, night.
Thank you for having us over.
And thanks for.
See you
Thanks for
Sunday
having us
for
over,
sure.
Nate.
Yeah,
It's good
definitely.
to see you. Thanks for having us over.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll be
Thanks
back.
for dinner.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, thank
Always happy to
All
talk.
right.
Nice
I'll
to
see
meet
you
you
around.
again.
Yeah.
Alright.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for everything. Bye guys.
Volleyball.
Thank you. Well, nice meeting you. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. That's not usually what everyone first thinks. It's not like I come in my work, any work ever. Would I ever come meet you? Nice to meet you too.
Stop by at the work sometime.
Again?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. Sometimes.